Welcome back to Right Now Trending TV News. At this time, before we get started, we kindly ask you to subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell for more videos in the future. Now let's get started. According to Behind the Velvet Rope and Melissa's Old Nose, it seems that everyone has their theories, their whispers, and their accusations. But can we take a moment and just talk about how wild this all is? I mean, the whole notion that Margaret is somehow paying people to push a narrative? Like, really? Does anyone actually believe that? And even if they do, what's the end game here? Do they think this is going to fix everything that's gone down? Let's rewind for a second. The claims about Melissa's old nose being linked to Margaret's camp and all the theories flying about how Melissa supposedly slept with the cake boss. It's like people are throwing every wild story out there just to see what sticks. But here's the real question. Why? Is it because they can't handle the fact that Margaret might actually have been right all along? Is this just too painful to admit that maybe, just maybe, Teresa and Louis aren't the victims in all of this? And speaking of Margaret, remember when she was dragged through the mud, called all sorts of names and accused of everything under the sun? Pancake titties? Really? We're going there? But now the tables have turned. And it's like people can't handle the fact that Margaret is coming out on top. Isn't it funny how quickly the narrative shifts? Now let's address the elephant in the room. Is anyone really buying that Melissa's old nose was doing anything shady? And does it even matter at this point? The bigger picture here is that everyone is scrambling to point fingers because they can't accept what's happening right in front of their eyes. It's almost like a distraction. Let's talk about Melissa's old nose instead of dealing with the fact that our favorites are losing the plot. Favorites being Jennifer and Teresa. So what's the deal with this theory that Margaret was behind all of this? If she was, wouldn't she have been way more careful? I mean, who in their right mind would hire someone to bash them publicly just to push a narrative? That's some next level 4D chess, and I'm not convinced anyone is that strategic. And let's talk about this idea that Margaret was right all along. If that's true, then what does that mean for the rest of the cast? Are they just going to sit there and pretend nothing happened? And if they do, how long can that last before everything falls apart? But let's not forget about the real plot twist here. The idea that Teresa and Louis were somehow scheming behind the scenes with bloggers and trying to control the narrative. That's juicy, but it's also exhausting. At some point, don't you just want to live your life without constantly looking over your shoulder, wondering who's going to stab me in the back next? Is this even possible for them to just move on and live their lives now that the show is off the air? Or are they just going to keep playing this game until there's nothing left? And speaking of moving on, do we really think Teresa and Louis are going to stop digging for dirt just because the show is on pause? I doubt that. These two have made it clear that they'll do whatever it takes to stay on top, and I mean whatever it takes. But here's the question. What happens if the show comes back with a completely different cast? Will they start digging up these new people too? Or is this where the cycle finally breaks? Now, let's flip the script for a second. If you were in their shoes, would you be doing the same thing? If your entire reputation was built on drama and keeping secrets, wouldn't you be digging for anything that could help you stay relevant? But at what point does it all become just too much? At what point do you just say enough is enough? And then there's the reunion that never was. Can you imagine the chaos that would have ensued if they'd actually gone through with it? Manila envelopes everywhere, receipts being thrown left and right, and it would have been a spectacle. But would it have changed anything? Or it just would be more of the same and everyone trying to outdo each other in the same drama department? So here's where I am with all of this. What do you think happens next? Do Teresa and Louis finally step back and let things cool down, or do they just keep pushing until something breaks? And what about Margaret? Is she going to keep playing defense, or does she have another ace up her sleeve? Because let's be real, this isn't over yet, not by a long shot. And that's the real kicker here. Just when you think you've seen it all, there's always another twist, another turn, another accusation waiting to be made. So buckle up, because this ride is far from over. But here's the $1,000,000 question. How much longer can they keep this up before it all comes crashing down? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Like and subscribe for more updates on this ongoing saga, because I'm going to be bringing you some more. And I'll see you next time. Ciao.